Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And it's time once again to react to the Wrestling Observer's star ratings. This time we're going to be doing it for, what was this show?
WarGames.
WarGames.
That was a month ago.
Right. Oh my God. It was a month ago. It was in November. Now we're in December. My goodness gracious.
Yeah.
So anyways, we're going to see what David has to say about WarGames today. You are in the hot seat, Larson. After my killer performance last week.
You got 2 out of 9.
I know. I'm sucking eggs these days on this shit. I don't know why. I don't know what my deal is.
Didn't I do all right last time? I got like 3 of 5, 2 of 5, something like that.
Doesn't sound right.
That sounds right.
All. Doesn't sound right at all. This is a fun one, man. Because this is interesting. We've only got 4 matches on the card.
Yeah, no, that's the 5 out of 4 seems exceedingly difficult for this one.
And yet, I have faith in you, Larson. I think you can pull this off.
So last time, the last WWE show, he rated the matches much higher than at least I did. Maybe I think both of us.
Yeah. Well, let's just go ahead and dive into it.
That makes it seem like he's not going to do that this time around.
The vast majority of the editorializing was in the pre-ramble, the pre-matter. And this is sort of a blanket statement that he had at the outset of said pre-ramble. He said, actually, the men's, because he basically prefaced this by saying a lot of people are complaining about it, saying they should shelve WarGames.
Yeah.
His counter.
Ooh.
Actually, the men's WarGames match was good. The women's was among the weakest WarGames matches in history, but there were things that can be changed. Now we're going to go specifically into the opening match, which was women's WarGames.
Did he say anything about the shark cages?
He did, yes. There's a lot here. There's the actual write-ups are almost exclusively description, but he had a pretty healthy pre-ramble about this stuff. So I tried to narrow this down to specifically women's WarGames. And then he talks more about the lack of shark cages in the men's WarGames pre-matter. So this is for the women specifically. Said, what happened this year seems twofold. First, the crowd at Petco Park was not mic'd well. We were told live that the women's match did get good crowd heat, but on television, aside from a few spots and intros of Rhea and AJ Lee, it came off quiet, which made match going more than 40 minutes drag badly.
You got a the in there.
Really? Aside from the annual spot of Io Sky going to the top of the cage and putting a garbage can over her head and body and doing a flip dive, which the announcers sold not as devastating, but as a, quote, viral moment, the match was just ordinary. For those who don't watch AEW, and the majority of WWE fans don't, coming a few weeks after the AEW version, where both matches were more violent and far more exciting, doesn't matter. For those that did watch both, that hurt the WWE matches as well. They were too recent and way too much better. On the women's side in particular, too much better. I told you you're going to get a kick out of this. On the women's side in particular, WWE had a higher level of talent, but the AEW women came out like they had something to prove from start to finish. As noted, WWE would not let women juice. You can argue back and forth, but a 40-minute match in a cage without blood is tough. WWE is no longer against the blade, as Vince McMahon sometimes was adamant about, and other times was self-contradictory about. The men bled, so there is no morality thing about razor blades to the forehead any longer. You can argue that for women, facial beauty is far more important than with men. Not that looks aren't a big part, but they aren't necessarily the biggest part, and with the women, they are far more important. And thus cutting a forehead with a blade is worse. You can also argue it's a double standard, but wrestling is also filled with them. WWE can't not have a women's WarGames match if it has a men's one because of how it's conditioned its audience. So we are left with that double standard. And with AEW not having that double standard, it's handicap in comparison for WWE women. But still, the pinfall rather than submission finish is less dramatic, and the slower action did nobody any favors. The women's match also didn't appear to have much of a long-term story. AJ Lee submitted Becky Lynch, which in theory should set up a singles match for Lynch's title, making the Lynch loss to Maxine Dupree make even less sense timing-wise. What title are we talking about? The crowd was very into... Oh, now we're actually at the write-up for the match.
All right. That's a lot to digest already.
The crowd was very into Flair versus Lynch. Lynch got more reaction than anyone thus far. Ripley and Lee got the biggest entrance pops. The match came across long and lifeless with nothing really sticking but the sky spot. And even then, when the announcer sold it like we're giving you a viral moment, it completely took you out of any intensity of the match. Perhaps would have been better with better crowd miking. I feel like that write-up alone probably... And when he says this was the weakest women's WarGames match, I think he said, in the four that they've done, I think that's a pretty fair assessment for you to.
Yeah, that's a lot to work with. So it's going to be weakest so far. Came across on TV, no heat,
facial beauty.
Yeah.
Facial beauty.
I'm going to say he went, gosh, I'm waffling between 2, and I might be too high still. I'll say 2 1/4.
2 3/4.
I thought
you're in the ballpark. You had so
low.
much to work with there. You had too much to work with.
Yeah, based on how he was talking about it, I thought, oh, man, this is going to be match happen territory at best.
Yeah.
At best.
Yeah. All right, next up. Dominic Mysterio won the IC title from John Cena in 16 minutes and 47 seconds. I love this first line. This was a cookie-cutter House of Torture match, except it came off better because of the star power in Liv Morgan. The Liv Morgan spot was a good swerve, and the injury angle was executed well. Dominic wasn't really booed, although the crowd was behind Cena. They were super into Morgan as the surprise. But this was the ultimate smoke and mirrors match. Cena's punches looked bad. This is sort of, I'm taking out a lot of the description, so if it seems random, that's why.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Cena's punches looked bad. They were outside the ring for a long time, and the ref just stood in the ring not counting nor trying to get them in the ring. Dom went for a Tijeras on the floor, and it came across like Cena botched the spot and didn't go over and dropped Dominic on his neck and shoulder. They did this to play off the Penta real-life injury. So they worked what appeared to be a dangerous-looking botch. Dominic sold it great. The medics came out. Where it became clear it was a work was when the camera stayed on Dom, because if he was really hurt, they'd pull the cameras off. Then it was clear as Rodriguez gave Cena a Tejana bomb behind the ref's back. Perez gave him pop rocks. Finn Balor, JD McDonough came out. McDonough used a moonsault, and Cena got his knees up. Balor went for the coup de grace. This was funny because Cena actually didn't move. Balor just jumped far over him. Liv Morgan came out and acted like she was going to help Dom. She instead punched Dominic and hugged Cena. Then she did the Bret Hart face and kicked him low. Okay, good. I'm confused by that as well. Dominic used a 619, a belt shot, and won via frog splash. What rating did Meltzer give this match?
He seemed like, for the most part, he enjoyed it while recognizing what it was, but yet appreciating it for what it was. You know, there wasn't a whole lot of superlatives there, you know. So it's got to be somewhere in the 3.5 territory, plus or minus a 1/4 star. I'll just say you get the same thing I did, 3.5.
Very close, 3 1/4. You were very, very. That ballpark was perfect, but a little high.
Gosh.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad guess. I would have said 3.5 as well. All right, man. You have 2 sentences for this next one. Stephanie Vaquer retaining the women's world title over Nikki Bella in 12 minutes and 21 seconds. There was no heat, and the match wasn't good, aside from fans waiting for the Devil's Kiss spot. At certain points, they were clearly not on the same page. There was more description here, but it was all description.
Yeah. I'm guessing this could be under 2 stars. He gave the women's WarGames match 2 3/4, right?
He gave that match 2 3/4, yes.
I think you gave this 1.5. I'm going to say Kotra's aligned with Dave, 1.5 stars.
Dave actually went worse than I did, 1 1/4.
Back to being a quarter star off more often than not.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, my last chance to get a 2 out of 4. Come on.
All right. Well, he gives you a lot here to work with, so I think you're gonna know what the ballpark is. So I'll reiterate from the pre-ramble. He said, actually, the men's WarGames match was good. Says Paul Levesque started using WarGames in NXT in 2017 and became part of Survivor Series. Most of the time, the matches were excellent. That said, the men's match did come across hot with the strong star power with the babyface team that included all the names. To me, it was the only good match on the show. Although John Cena's IC title loss to Dominic did have 2 great moments. The other was the length of the match and the numbing weapons shot. From a company that preaches not overdoing things, it felt like the matches... This is from the pre-ramble.
Yeah.
So there's like a little bit of interjection with the women's stuff here. From a company that preaches not overdoing things, it felt like the matches relied far too much on weapons. The being squeamish about juice for women in a sense is understandable with sponsors and such who wouldn't react as badly to the idea of men bleeding some. He was just talking about the blood there.
Yeah.
Talking about the men specifically here, with Rhodes and the history of WarGames, the 5-minute and 2-minute periods, where sometimes time was shaved to make them shorter, not longer, in theory would lead to the match beyond, which is when the match could end at the 21-minute mark. Sorry, I shouldn't have included that. Here we go. In those matches, everyone came out together as a team, were at ringside, and when the period was up, they jump into the ring. Here, when it's about ring introductions and held in a stadium, they sent people out to do introductions like a Royal Rumble. The other key is that they increased the intro periods from 2 to 3 minutes. Bad. And eliminated the cage on the top of the ring, which traditionalists didn't like, but it allowed for people coming off the top of the cage, which NXT and WWE has done as a big spot, although only Sky did it after Bronson Reed badly injured himself doing it last year.
Oh, you forgot about Cody jumping off the top when he made his entrance?
The cage on top of the ring. The
scaling.
Okay.
Yeah, scaling the cage.
Okay. Worse, with the talent not at ringside, they would start the 3-minute clock when they got into the cage. Because coming from the back and going and doing the intro took about a minute each time, and the cameras focused on the intro, and the wrestlers in the cage didn't want to step on the intro, it created several dead minutes. Instead of 21 minutes, in the women's match, it was 32-31. The men's match went 33-43 before Reigns, who was positioned as a bigger star than either champion, came out. Those 11:30 and 12:30 delays slowed the match down badly and hurt the excitement. If they are going to do a stadium, and with this kind of gate they should do the entrances one by one before the match starts and have everyone at ringside with them champing at the bit. He spelled champing wrong. At the bit, showing excitement themselves and rushing in. Instead, because it was so far out, guys came to the ring slowly, showing no intensity in many cases, and then stalled to pick up a weapon. The overall intensity that made the WarGames in its heyday were gone with the weapon shot after weapon shot, which was a flaw with the AEW match, but the crowd in Greensboro, with 1/9 the attendance, was so much better than here. The finish made more sense. Braun pinning Punk with the spear after interference from Masked Man, who gave Punk a curb stomp, with the idea you'd think it was Seth Rollins. This was done both to set up Breakker challenging Punk for the title, not at WrestleMania, but on the 1/5 Raw show from Barclays Center. That show had a very disappointing advance, plus it appears they want to make the first episode of each year as a Netflix anniversary episode. Let me get to the actual match here, because he talks about the mask guy here. It could be, hell, it's theory now, but it could be any number of other people. All right, here we go to the actual write-up. The crowd was into this match more than anything else on the show. The story was that it started and ended with Punk versus Breakker. Punk and Rhodes did the Doomsday device on Breakker. He landed really bad on his head and high on his neck. He looked to be knocked silly for a while, but he recovered quickly and didn't appear to hamper the rest of the match. He was checked out afterwards and was hurting, but came out of it okay. Reigns was the last person in. Lesnar came out of the cage, which based on the rules would be considered a concession and end the match, but wrestling rules change as they see fit.
That's it, huh?
I honestly think that all you have worked with was actually the men's war game match was really good.
Really good.
Was good. Sorry. He said good. He said good.
Well, he said it was the best match on the card.
The men's match did come across hot with strong star power.
Star power. Yeah, he said the crowd was into it.
Yeah.
So it's above 3 1/4. But given the issues he found with it, I have a hard time believing he's going to go as high as 4. I could be wrong. So I'm going to say he went 3 3/4.
He went 4 1/4. Yeah, he really dumped on it quite a bit. He just talked about how much he didn't like the changes.
No, he's criticizing it for a lack of intensity, saying it was slow.
Yeah.
The level of excitement not matching years previous.
Yeah. Is it possible? One thing that I think we've really overlooked, and I know we've alluded to it in the past, and I specifically with bloodline matches, Dave will almost always give an extra star based on star power.
Yeah, he does.
I feel like that's what he did here.
Yeah, that could be.
Whenever it's like big match time, which just means there's big names in it,
Yeah.
he'll always automatically rank it up.
So long as the match comes anywhere close to living up to the star power.
Yeah, if it's a 3-star match, he'll give it 4 based on that. If it's like a 2-star match, he'll go like not that, or he'll just stick to that.
I think there's like a sliding scale of what he'll add based on how much the star power of the match is included and how much the match lives up to that star power.
Yeah.
I
think
that could be. That's something else to consider. But he said good. I mean, like his own scale, really good is 4, or excellent is 4. So good has to be below that.
You would think so. Although he did throw the actually on there.
Was actually good. I kind of took that
actually,
as,
the
in
men's
comparison, in his estimation, to the women's WarGames match, the men's WarGame match was actually good.
No, what that was everybody's dumping on it. Actually, it was good.
Okay.
Meltzer, thus saith the Meltzer.
He's flexing his authority as wrestling.
He is, yes, that's what he's doing. Because before it's like, oh, everybody's dumping on this. Actually, the men's one was good.
No, it really wasn't, Dave. It wasn't that good.
It really wasn't.
It's pretty shitty, actually.
It was flat. It was flat as hell.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, anyways, a donut. Great. Fantastic.
Well, it was a tough task. And it's cold outside.
It is cold.
So,
why is it cold weather, especially when it's overcast and foggy like it is here in Northern California currently?
Out there.
Just makes you want to curl up in bed and not do anything.
Dude, I did not want to wake up this morning. Anyways, let us know what you guys think about the cold weather in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time. We'll see you guys around.
Goodbye.